Hey, what's up guys? The Catalyst47 here, back with another video. So guys, for today's video, what I want to show you guys is I want to give you guys, I guess, an update on my Rokket deck. It's been like a little over a month, I think, since I posted that was my first video coming back into the YouTube scene. But yeah, I just wanted to give you guys an update. The deck has changed a little bit. Not too much, it's just a few small updates. I am still playing, like I told you guys, I'm playing like, my deck's more based off Shimping Ju's UDS version of the deck. I'm not really playing like, I didn't want to invest in the cards like, I mean I do have Hockey Fibrex, but I run that, I have that, I had it for another deck. But I don't have Link Cross, don't have Martial Metal Marcher, Herald of Arclight, and all that stuff. Just because, I mean the banlist is right around the corner, and I do think that if Konami does make some changes this time, unlike the ban list, I do think Link Cross is probably going to get banned. So I don't want to, I didn't want to make the deck with like only a month and a half. When I was first making the small changes like a few weeks ago, I didn't want to add Link Cross in if it's going to get banned. But if they make changes like last ban list where there's hardly any changes at all, because there's no events, and I probably will incorporate Link Cross, and I will give y'all an updated deck profile probably a few weeks after the ban list comes out. Hopefully it comes out sometime this upcoming week, and then probably in like 2 or 3 weeks I will get the cards that I need for the deck and update y'all on the new, like my new Rokket deck again after the ban list. So this is like pre-ban list, so yeah. So without further ado guys, let's get started with the deck profile. So we got triple of the second best card in the deck now. Triple Starleech Seyfert. Just a really good, really good starter card. And its graveyard effect is really good as well, being able to banish it to grab a level 8 dragon out of your graveyard back to your hand. Works really well with Chaos Dragon Legionnaire, so I think running at 3 is definitely mandatory. Then we got the 2 baby dragons. I mean, these cards are at 1 for a reason also still. This is the main searcher for Seyfert. You use it to bring out, yeah, the white or black, and then you can start off your combo from there. This is basically why Seyfert is a 1.5 card combo. But yeah, you need these like in any dragon deck, honestly. Then for the Rockets, we have triple Rokket Tracer. Still no changes from my last deck list. I mean, it's just the main Rokket in the deck. You want to have multiple copies, not just for like your first turn play, but just for follow-ups as well. Gets you into Savage. Then we got 2 Silver Rokket. This card's I like this card because it lets you search your opponent's extra deck and banish a card at the end of the combo. So I think it's a really good card to have, and it's just the target for Tracer to use his effect with. So run 2, and then I cut one of the Magna Rockets down to 1. I was running 2 in my last build, just because I feel like the Rockets are not as important anymore, and they're still of course important, but they're just not as, at least the ones that are not Tracer. Tracer is still very important, but the other ones are just not as important anymore, and I feel like drawing the Rockets, it's just not that good. Like having 1 in your hand is good, it's fine, but like if you draw multiples, you don't really want to draw multiples. So I think cutting down on one of the Magna Rockets was good. You don't really want to draw too many Rockets, so I thought it was a good idea to cut it, and it hasn't really been an issue, so it's been pretty good. The 1 Recharger. This is just like the best one for like your turn 3 plays after you've made a board, and then if your opponent breaks it and they don't, if they're able to break your board, then this is a good follow-up card. So having him at 1 is fine. I don't think you need more than 1. And the non-Rokket monster, 2 Absorautor. This card's just pretty good to search. Of course, your Rokket Tracer. In the combo, you pitch it with Ravine, being able to get it, send it, and then searching for Tracer. So really good card, and he's also an extender. You can special summon him from your hand if you control a Rokket. So that's why I still feel like I'm running it at 2. I think that's still the same as my previous build as well. So I think it's a yeah, it's a solid card. It's good to be used as part of the combo as an extender, and it's also good like as a not a starter, but it's if you open it in your hand with any Rokket, it's still a full combo. So pretty good. Then we got the 1 Noctivision. I cut this card from 2 to 1. This is another change I made. It's just I felt like having the 2 since the deck is still kind of focused a little bit on the Rockets. Unlike the new Dragon Link decks, where they only really like the new Dragon Links mostly just run like the Tracer, like the 1 Recharger, and then like the 1 Absolrouter, and that's it. So in those kind of scenarios, I feel like yes, like having I would probably switch. I would probably put 2 Noctivision and then 1 Absolrouter because you don't really need if you're not gonna really be opening up Rockets, like you don't really want to open up the Absolrouter either. Then I mean it's not a big deal, but it's just not as optimal. You'd rather open up Noctivision as an extender when there's less Rockets. But since this deck still has a good amount of Rockets, I felt like the 2 Router is better than 2 Noctivision. But Noctivision is still a very good card. I still really like it. The only problem with having 2 and 2 before is that sometimes you would open up like I think there was one game when I opened up like the 2 Absolrouters and like a Noctivision, or it was 1 Noctivision, 1 Absolrouter, and I didn't really have anything to start with. So these are more extenders, so it was a brick hand. So that's why I felt like cutting down the 1 Noctivision, and it opened up space for other things that I'll show you guys. Then we got the Red Ice package. So we got the Darkness Metal with the Black Metal Dragon. Just part of the combo. Like I said, my build is a little more focused on the Rockets, so I'm not playing. Like I know a lot of the Dragon Link decks are playing triple Black Metal because it's a really good starter card. And don't get me wrong, it is. It's just I don't have the space for it. I don't want to play 60 in the deck if it's not the Dragon Link deck. So then I got this other small package, the Levianeer with the Omni Brotar. Omni Brotar is just a really good extender, and he can even be not as good as a starter, but he can be a starter, and yeah, just that's why I feel like he's worth having here. And of course, with Hermetic Seal, it just helps you push or play through Nibiru a little bit. So I think it's really good to have at 1. And then Levianeer, of course, is a really good card as well. It's really easy to summon it in this deck. You have a lot of darks, have a couple lights in here as well. So, and it's just really good to rip a card out of your opponent's hand or pop cards, honestly. Then now we're going into the hand traps. We got 2 Phantasme. I'm running 2 Phantasme because, it's searchable with Omni Brotar if you already have Levianeer. So it's nice that you can just search it. And also, I think it's a pretty solid hand trap. It's not the best one, of course, but it's just other, more darks as well. So you can have for Chaos Space, of course. So I think it's a pretty good card. Just that 2 is fine. I don't think you need 3. It's just a 40 card deck. If you were playing 60, then maybe you could run 3, but I think 2 is fine, and he's pretty good. He's worked out pretty well for me so far. Free body on the board. Almost every deck nowadays uses links, so yeah. Then we got triple Ash Blossom, and yeah, this card is it's honestly probably the most versatile hand trap, so that's why I feel like it's necessary to run at 3. I have thoughts sometimes about cutting it to 2 because you can't use it more than once per turn. So if you draw multiples, it's kind of sucks. But you really do want to see it, so I'm kind of stuck between running 2 or 3. But for now, I'm running 3. It's worked out pretty well so far. Then we got triple Effect Veiler. Just it's a light monster. It works really well with the deck because Chaos Space. But yeah, I think it's another solid hand trap. I'm not the best in the format, but it does hit monster effects and you can use it multiple times. So that's pretty good. You want to see it, so I'm running at 3. And then for the last hand trap, I'm running 2 Ghost Ogre. I decided to cut Nib since a lot of decks. This is another change I made to the list. Actually, the 2 Phantasme basically were what I replaced the second Noctivision and the second Magna Rokket with. That's basically what the Phantasmes are. And then these 2 replace Nibiru. So I just think this card is right now Nibiru is not as good as it used to be. A lot of decks can either play through it or they summon like Herald before you can even nib them or something like that. or maybe they even, the thing is, a lot of decks can, you're basically forced to Nibiru at certain points in combos before they summon Herald. So it's like your opponent a lot of times will just have follow-up play. So I just think Nibiru is not as good. So I decided to run Ghost Ogre. I think it's a pretty solid card. It's a light monster. I mean, same with Nib, but it's a light monster, so it helps with Chaos Space. And even though it doesn't negate the effect, the fact that it destroys the card is pretty good. So it can work with face-up continuous spells or like field spells or monster effects, of course. So I think it's a really good card. I'm just playing 2 though because, well, space and because I don't think it's as impactful as Valor and Ash. So I think 2 is fine. Now getting into the spell cards. Now this is the new best card of the deck. Triple Chaos Space. Absolutely broken card. So good. It searches out your baby dragons as well as it can be used to search Chaos Dragon Levianeer. It just doesn't happen as often. You're mostly going to use it for the baby dragons. And then, yeah, being able to draw a card and all that stuff. Putting your baby dragons back in the deck. It's just so good. This card is like probably the best starter as well. Then we got triple Quick Launch, of course. Can't have a Rokket deck without Quick Launch. Just the best, honestly, one of the best extenders. It's not once per turn, so, and it's just a free body on board. Really good, and it's a quick play spell, so it's really nice. Then we got the field spells. We got 2 Boot Sector Launch. Since this is a little bit more of a Rokket heavy deck, I decided I think 2 Boot Sector is good. I know a lot of the Dragon Links now, they just play the 60 card variants or the 50 card variants, whatever. They play 1 just because you only, I guess in those decks you really only need 1 since you have Lane Cross and all them to get you all your bigger monsters out. But I think in this, and whenever you have a few more Rockets, I think 2 is better because you will go through 1, of course, in the combo. And it's good to have if you can't OTK your opponent or if you're going first and your opponent breaks your board. If you have the second one, it's almost like a soul charge. So really good card. If you're going to play a good amount of Rockets, I think it's better to have 2. And the 1 Dragon Archfiend for Romulus. So, I mean, it's just a good extender in the deck. Man, you don't want to draw it, but but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter too much if you do draw it. Like I said, it's good in the hand or better in the deck, but it's still good in the hand. And then last but not least, probably the best extender, 2 World Legacy Guard Dragon. This card is just so good, like bringing out a monster back and then moving your zones around. It just lets you open up your guard dragons better. You don't need as many cards in the combo. So I think it's a really good card. You just want 2. You don't really want to. It can be a brick if you draw multiple because you can only use it once per turn. So 2 is fine. So that's it for the main deck. 40 cards. I really like the ratios for everything. I'm running 10 hand traps, and I think like 8 technically like 6 Rockets, but the Absol I'm counting that one as well, so it's like 8. But yeah, I think that's a pretty solid deck so far. I've really been enjoying it. I know it's not as strong as, of course, the version with Link Cross and Hockey Fibrax, but I think this version is still pretty solid. At best, it's probably a very low tier rogue deck, but it's still a lot of fun. It can still play through multiple hand traps. It just doesn't set up as crazy board as the Dragon Link deck, the current one, because you can use Appaloosa and all that. But now for the extra deck, we got 2 Striker Dragon. This is another change I made. I was playing 3 before, because I mean, like I said, it was based off Shenpingju's UDS list, and he was playing 3 because his combo uses 2, which I'm still using the combo that uses 2 Striker Dragons. So I need 2 at least. And his version, he needed the third one for like a follow-up turn 3, which I agree with. It's definitely necessary. But right now I feel like 2 is good enough for the combo because, I mean, you need 2, but turn 3, it's like, you can get by right now. So I do sometimes. I haven't tested out too much yet with 2, but you for sure need 2 for the combo most of the time. Then we got the Guard Dragons, of course. I'm really praying LP does not get banned, please. Please do not ban LP. I'll be very sad. If they do ban LP though, I do think the deck will still be alright. It probably won't be a tier 1 deck, or at least the Dragon version. The Dragon Link won't be tier 1 anymore, because if they hit both Link Cross and LP, I do think the deck is going to fall off. It'll still be okay, but I don't think it's going to be as good anymore. Probably like a tier 2 or Rogue deck after that. But for now, we're using both our dragons, of course. Then we got basically these 3 cards are the, I guess you could say, the main extra deck monster cards. So we got Heretic Seal, Romulus, and Beakop. In this version of the deck, I do feel like you still need to use Beakop, because since I'm not using like Link Cross and Hauki Fibrax, you can't get away with using Tracer's effect towards the end of the combo, which is what most people do nowadays with the Dragon Links. They use the Tracer effect at the end of the combo, so by that point, it doesn't matter if they're locked into darks. But in this version of the deck, you have to use Tracer's effect more like, not at the beginning, but it's still kind of early in the combo. So if you get like Veilered or something like that, or something of the sorts, then you're locked into dark. So sometimes it has come up very few times, but it has come up where I need a dark to open up my guard dragon zones. So I just think Beakop is still necessary in this deck, even though it's just, of course, it's not as good of a card to have in the extra deck zone as compared to Seal and Romulus. But most of the time you're going to go into either Seal or Romulus. Then we got the 1 Quad Boral, just really good card to be able to get your, it's almost like another Soul Charge, being able to get multiple rockets back. So I think it's necessary. The 1 Dillinger's Dragon, just a really good extender. The 1 Triple Burst, I do want to cut this card, but I'm still not too sure what I should put in for it. I think what I might do is, if LP does get hit, what I'm probably going to do is make the deck focus a little more on getting cards in the graveyard. If LP does get hit, the deck is going to change significantly, because I am going to add more cards that will go into the grave for Pisty to bring back. Things like Foolish Burial and Dragon Shrine. So I'm probably going to cut this card for number 38 to be able to go into the rank 8 monster, the Dragon monster, or the rank 8 monster. So I think it's a pretty good card with Spiral Dragon in the deck. So I'll probably add that in if LP gets banned. And I'll cut this card out. But for now, I'm just using the Triple Burst. It's part of the combo. Then for the Link 4s, we got Boral Sword. I mean, OTKs, so really good card. Since I'm still playing Silver Rocket and a decent amount, not a high amount, but it's still a decent amount of rockets, I'm still playing the Unchained Abomination. It's a good card on the end board, being able to pop your Silvered Rocket or your Magna Rocket to either send 1 monster on the field to the grave or look at your opponent's extra deck and banish a card. And plus, it's interruptions on your opponent's turn as well. Basically 3 pops in a turn. Pretty good. And now this, this is I guess a proxy. I don't have the card yet, but this is supposed to be, I already ordered it. It just hasn't come in yet. This is Appaloosa. This is what I replaced the 3rd Striker Dragon with. I just feel like Appaloosa, I mean, it got cheaper now that it got reprinted, finally. And it's just a really good card. It's even better than your other Link 2s that open up your guard dragons. Appaloosa is better because Appaloosa points 3 points down. So you don't even need 2 monsters below to open up your guard dragons, or a World Legacy guard dragon to move your guard dragons. Since you have the 3 zones, you can just put a guard dragon on one of the end zones and then the middle one's open. So yeah, this is going to be Appaloosa. It's already on the way, just hasn't come in yet. And Appaloosa, of course, with multiple negates for monster effects. Really good card. And for the Synchros, we got 1 Savage. Really good card, of course. That's a staple in Rocket decks. So, I mean, in almost any deck, this card's a staple right now. Just free negates, so. And really easy to summon with Tracer. And then for the last card, we got Red Dragon Archfiend, or Scarlet Red Dragon Archfiend. This card, I mean, theoretically, I could maybe still keep the 3 Striker Dragons and just replace Appaloosa for this card. But I just feel like sometimes this card can be really good. Being able to basically clear boards, destroys all monsters that were special summoned on your opponent's side of the field that have equal or less attack than this card, and it does damage to your opponent for each one that was destroyed, 500. So that's really good, and it could also help you when you go into time. So yeah, I mean, I'm still debating. This could potentially just become the third Striker Dragon again, just because with this version of the deck, you do sometimes really need the third Striker Dragon since you use 2 in the combo. But like I said, with the upcoming ban list, there could be a lot of changes to the deck, so we'll just have to wait and see. For now, I'm just going to run it like this. But yeah, guys, I think that's all. I guess I can show you. I do have a side deck now. It's not 100% complete, but it's still here. So, like I said, I don't think Nibiru is worth running in the main anymore, but I do think Nibiru is worth having on the side. So we got triple Nibiru. Really good against certain combo decks that are... the only decks I don't think this card is that good against is Rock. And I'm not saying it's not good against Dragon Link, but I mean against my deck it's good. Because since I'm not playing Link Cross and all those cards, it's just hard for me to play, like, keep playing through Nibiru. But against certain other decks, like maybe like the rogue decks that are still semi-combo decks, this will definitely still be a pretty good card to run and to have. So yeah, do Nibiru. Then we got most of the cards in my extra deck are going second cards. I feel like the deck, the Dragon Links or this deck, the Rokket Link, it's still pretty good going first. So you got 3 Dark Rule no more. Just really good card against, of course, the combo decks. You can't chain monster effects, so that's really good. It'll just help you break boards. Then we got... Oh, okay. These 3 are potentially gonna be other cards. Maybe Raigeki I'll keep, but Monster Reborn and Dark Hole are just here to take up space. Like I told you guys, the side deck is not complete yet. Raigeki, of course, is a pretty good going second card. But Dark Hole and Monster Reborn, I would probably replace those with probably like a red reboot. And what's another good one-off card? Oh yeah, Pankratops. Yeah, I'd probably replace these 2 with red reboot and Pankratops. But like I said, these are just taking up space right now. Raigeki, I mean, it's a good. I think it's a pretty good going second card, so why not? But yeah, Rare Reboot and Pankratops for these 2 when I get them. And then we got triple Cosmic Cyclone. I am debating on changing these for like Twin Twisters. I just feel like I know Cosmic Cyclone can be very good against like Eldritch and those kind of thing. But sometimes like decks like those, they just have too much back row, and just getting rid of one is not enough. So sometimes I feel like Twin Twister is just better. But I mean, we'll see. Since I haven't been able to go to tournament yet, it's still up for debate. This could become Twin Twister in the future, but for now I'm just running Cosmic Cyclone, see how it goes. And then the last 3 cards, triple Evenly Matched, of course. Pretty good card. Banishing everything on the field except for 1 card most of the time. And yeah, a very good going second card. So like I said, most of the cards in my side deck are for going second. Just because this deck is a little bit weaker going second. But going first is pretty solid. You don't really need anything else going first. But yeah, guys, that's going to be it for the whole updated Rokket deck. I mean, this version is the one I'm using right now, right before the ban list. I am going to, depending on what happens in the ban list, hopefully it's out by this week. By the end of this week. I'm hoping that I'll have a good idea of what I'm going to have to change in the deck. Because, yeah, of course, there will be changes coming with if there are some changes to the ban list. The only card I'm hoping doesn't get hit is LP. I mean, I don't care about Lane Cross or Hockey Fibrax in this deck too much. So, yeah. Yeah, I think, if they just don't hit LP, I think this deck will still be... Well, I mean, of course, this deck will still be good if they don't hit LP, because I don't even use Link Cross or Hockey Fibrax in this deck. But yeah, if they do hit LP, I think this deck is going to become a little bit more graveyard reliant. and that means I probably will make changes to the deck that require like sending cards to the grave, and like something like Galaxy Spiral Dragon. I think it's pretty good, but we'll just have to wait and see. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. I hope you guys like this updated Rokket Link deck profile. And stay tuned for more content, especially after the ban list comes out. I will be updating, depending on what gets hit, I will be updating probably all my decks. But yeah, guys, I will see you all in the next video. Peace out.